Carney's a banker, right? He's supposed to be really smart at how capitalism works. But his idea is that with a little bit of catalyst, these private developers are going to build so much housing that there'll be a glut and the prices will fall because there'll be so much supply. Like, when did a capitalist ever do that?
Yeah, that's never happened.
Never happened.
Housing, I feel like, was something that Carney spoke a lot about during the election, and to the point where it almost sounded like, hey, maybe there's a Crown Corp that's going to be building housing and there's going to be a real investment in public housing. Of course, it ends up being, PPP, where it's just private partnerships. What would you want to see the NDP push for in terms of housing?
This is a continuity between Trudeau and Carney. They've really got one idea of how to get things done, which is to give public money to private corporations and hope that the market will solve it. And the overall thing that Canadians are starting to realize, we're living in a period of market failure. We've shoved every public good into the market mindset, from healthcare to housing to the postal service, which we now get regularly fed the line that the postal service is losing money. Is it supposed to make money?
Yeah.
Does the ambulance service make money? Do the police make money? They cost a lot of money because they're an essential public service. So this market mindset is reached its conclusion. It is failing on every single front, and housing is a striking one. And I love the way you put it, the way he was talking about it. We're going to create a new agency, which is going to catalyze, his favorite word, a build out of housing that we've never seen since the Second World War. That has only ever happened under public ownership. And that's how it happened after the Second World War. And that is what is required to solve the housing emergency. And instead, it turned out to be giving some billions of dollars to private developers and hoping that they would just build the housing, and then going into austerity mode in less than a year and cutting it in half, the projections of houses that will actually be built. And because the market has not stopped, it stopped exploding, the housing market, the bubble has stopped expanding. So housing, as prices have sort of leveled off or come down a tiny bit, not enough to make them affordable, but enough for developers to start freezing development, or housing starts have stalled, which means that construction workers are being laid off right in this moment, where we are desperate for housing that is actually affordable for people who are working their asses off and can only make so much money because wages never keep up. What we need a public developer employing public construction companies to actually build out the non-market and non-profit and supportive and cooperative housing that will solve the problem. Because housing has to somehow have a relationship to people's incomes. Rent geared to income buildings haven't been built in this country since the 90s. And we're slowing and slowing and slowing through the 80s anyway. That is the solution. That is the first line response to the housing emergency, has to be under public ownership.